Good afternoon. We start with that breaking news. The man running Rochdale's council housing has been sacked over the death of a 2-year-old boy caused by mould in his flat. 𝗟𝗡𝗨𝗦𝗔𝗥𝗘 died from a respiratory condition caused by the poor condition of his home in 2020. Rochdale Borough-wide Housing said the board has taken the decision to remove 𝗟𝗜𝗠𝗏𝗡 from his post as Chief Executive of RBH with immediate effect. We will now work to appoint an external interim Chief Executive. Our original instincts were for Gareth to stay on and to see the organisation through this difficult period and to make the necessary changes. But we all recognise that this is no longer tenable. The coroner noted that RBH had made changes as a result of the tragic death of 𝗟𝗡𝗨𝗧. Under new leadership, RBH will continue to embed these changes and to continue to drive further improvements to our homes and to our communications with tenants. And we've been speaking to the leader of Rochdale Borough Council in the last hour.
It's a strange decision because only, 48 hours ago they were backing Mr Swarbrick to the hilt. But I think it's the right decision. But let's remember as well that we're here today in memory of poor 𝗟𝗡𝗨𝗦𝗔𝗥𝗘 and to stand in solidarity with his family to make sure that something like this never happens again.
Well, let's go live now to Rochdale and Sky's Fraser Maud. And Fraser, it's quite the U-turn there from RBH, who had seemed determined to stick on with Gareth Swarbrick as their chief executive.
It certainly seemed that way, didn't it, for a while. I'm here at a vigil for 𝗟𝗡𝗨𝗦𝗔𝗥𝗘, and it was just within a couple of minutes of the vigil starting that the news broke that Gareth Swarbrick had been removed from his post less than 48 hours, or only 48 hours or so, after RHB had said that they were sticking with him, that they thought that he was the man to lead them through this difficult time. It now seems as though they have made a dramatic U-turn on that statement and decided that his position was no longer tenable. They say that they want to move forward with other agencies to try and make improvements, but the council leader saying that that isn't good enough. He wants to see the properties taken out of RHB control, brought back into council control. He's going to contact Michael Gove in order to try and make that happen, and he said that if that is beyond Michael Gove's powers as the Secretary of State for Housing, that he wants to see people brought in, commissioners brought in from either the Housing Ombudsman or Homes England to run the RHB properties until they can get the confidence of their tenants back again. Well, I'm joined here at the moment by 𝗖𝗢𝗠𝗠𝗘𝗧, who's a mental health professional and also become a housing campaigner because of your interaction with the people here. First of all, what's your reaction to Gareth Swarbrick being forced to step down?
It's not enough. It's absolutely not enough, because there's a collective making a decision. Gareth didn't make these decisions on his own that have led to the death of this poor boy, and my heart just hurts for that family, and it feels like we're grieving all over again. And I think as a town it's been quite painful, and I think they all absolutely need to go. We need somebody independent to come in and sit with us as residents of Rochdale and work with us, please. We need outside help.
RHB have made some action now. It took them 53 hours after the inquest to issue some form of apology for 𝗟𝗡𝗨𝗦𝗔𝗥𝗘 death. So you say that they haven't been doing enough and that they've been fighting against their own responsibilities, you say?
Absolutely, absolutely. The audacity of them to think they could have stayed in position for so long. We've been fighting against them since 2016 and 17, and they've not been held accountable. The system is not set up for the working class people and people who live in social housing, so we really, really need outside intervention before the mainstream media takes its eyes off Rochdale, please.
And in terms of what was said during that inquest by RHB, not happy with that either?
Absolutely not. It's negligence, and they're actually blaming 𝗟𝗡𝗨𝗧's family's culture and religion, and that is racism. So they base their decisions by putting the blame into his culture and religion and family, and it's disadvantaged the family. And we really need to be looking at racism in mental health, in social housing.
Okay, well, look, thanks very much for your views. Obviously, RHB aren't available to counter any claims of racist behaviour during their interactions with the coroner. But I can also have a chat now. Mark Slater, chair of the Rochdale branch of the Greater Manchester Tenants Union. You must be pleased that RHB have at least done something.
Well, absolutely, but it's taken too long. Gareth Swarbrick should have, first of all, he should have appeared at the inquest. I think that was only the right and proper thing to do. But it's taken too long to get to this stage. To cut the head off the organisation tries to deflect the focus away from corporate accountability, and they do not escape corporate accountability. This is a board that 2 days ago issued a video statement, saying they had full confidence in 𝗟𝗓𝗠𝗏𝗏𝗧, and 2 days later that confidence is suddenly diminished. This is about self-preservation. The amount of money that was paid to this board in wages is quite well documented, and is in my opinion, is a reason that 𝗟𝗓𝗠𝗏𝗏𝗧 has been made the sacrificial lamb to maintain the board in the current positions.
Do the council have the answer? The council leader we've heard today saying that the 12,000 homes that RSB run should be brought back under council control. Is that the answer?
If it was possible, yes, it is. I don't think it's an easy solution, but we've been fighting RBH for a long time, for a number of years, for exactly that solution. But I don't think it's that easy. And it will be now down to Michael Gove to look at all the implications. There's not only the logistical issues to overcome, but there's a matter of funding. Taking the homes back under council control means that the council will need some funding to set up the systems to administer and to manage those homes. But it would be ideal. We've got some great councillors in this town. Councillor Danny Meredith has been working alongside us as a campaign for many years. It's just unfortunate that little 𝗟𝗓𝗏𝗏𝗧's death has brought it under the spotlight and focused people's minds on social housing, not just in Rochdale, but nationally.
Sky News has seen inside some of the properties run by this association. We've been hearing first-hand accounts of the state of some of those properties. What can be done in the immediate term to improve the quality of life for the people who are living in these substandard conditions?
Well, the first thing that they can do is make mould a Category 1, Category 1 issue that needs dealing with within 1 week. And that means setting up the infrastructure to be able to deal with it, to provide ventilation, to provide the removal of mould, and give people a decent home, which is everybody's right. Everybody's a right to expect a clean, dry home to live in. And these people, particularly the people on freehold, you like I have been around freehold and been into some of these disgusting homes. 𝗟𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗧's home was described as not fit for human habitation. And it is disgusting in 2022 that we have families living in such circumstances.
Thanks very much for joining us today. There's been a very good turnout here to the vigil for young 𝗟𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗧. It's been a terrible shock to this community, although many people say that people living in the housing situation here have been complaining for years. Our own family were complaining since 2017, with very little being done by Rochdale Borough-wide housing. More needs to be done. More needs to be done very quickly. The council say that they want to take control. It looks as though it may be some time before the situation is fully resolved in terms of who is going to try and put the housing situation here in Rochdale right.